Hey everybody, and welcome back to another book review. So this book is the last book of 2024 officially. Even though I've got a couple others that I've been reading or started reading, I'll put them on the 2025 block. But Bleak House by Charles Dickens. So another Dickens novel. As you kind of notice, I'm working through some more historical fiction books, and I'm very excited about that. So Bleak House is an interesting novel, and honestly, I like it better than some of the other novels. And it's about it's kind of got a lot going on, as do most Dickens novels. So you can't even have like main characters because everything is so very serialized. But so the more or less the main characters revolve around the John Dice family, and basically. It's this family who has a series of wills that all just kind of conflict. And so no one really knows, pardon me, who is supposed to, kind of follow with whom. And so within that, you have these two kind of wards of the John Dice family who are related to the John Dice, and then one of their companions, as it were, Esther Summerson. And so you kind of find out a lot more about her, and she's pretty much been told she's an orphan her whole life, but she's actually not an orphan. She's actually the daughter of somebody else who kind of relates to the John Dice situation. It's like a whole thing. And so within all of that, though, you get this kind of interesting story, and it as I was doing some research on the book, people were talking about it being kind of more of a satire of what was going on in England and London at that time. And it's hard to tell which period or which, decade they're kind of focusing on. A lot of Dickens novels were written in the 40s and the 50s, 1840s and 1850s, I should say. And this one was written in the 1850s, but it as I was reading it, I was like, this is kind of presenting as early 1840s, which I could totally buy, maybe even 1830s, late 1830s. But it's a very interesting novel, just kind of looking at like how do people handle, the craziness of the family life, when family is super confusing. But then at the same time, also just kind of that overall discussion of like how London was. And, people talk about, oh, we get out of London and go to the countryside. And that was very Scottish. But just like leaving London, and London was so foggy and so oppressive, and talking about people, having opium poisoning, and the fog just kind of creating like a literal mental fog on top of, sickness because it's in the city. And so things spread very, very quickly. And just kind of an interesting commentary on the mid 19th century life in England, in the UK. It was a good book. I honestly liked it a little bit better than Great Expectations or Oliver Twist. It flowed a little better to me. Other people may have a different perspective on it. But yeah, in comparison to some of the other Dickens novels, I tend to like this one a little bit better. I've also been, since I've read it, I've also been listening to the kind of more dramatized audio version with Thandaway Nelson, and I can't remember the other young lady. Mackenzie Crook is in it, and it's just kind of a fun way to listen to it. And on top of that, I've been watching the BBC miniseries from I think it was 2005 as well, and so that's fun to kind of get some of those characters and see characters or hear characters as well. So being that I'm on break, that I've been able to catch up a little bit more on TV shows and things like that. So but overall, I would definitely give this book about 4.5, 4 out of 5. You know, there was still, because I think it's, you know, an older novel. There's older language, and some things just to drag on. You know, I question authors of this period frequently. It's like, why are we still talking? Like, why are we still on this thing? We were past it a long time ago. And so just really struggling with that piece of it, and really getting down to the nitty gritty and to the actual story is really, really hard. It's part of the reason why I haven't read too much more Victor Hugo's stuff. Because it's like, okay, we're still talking about this. Like, can we move past it? But this one, I felt like this one had a little less talking about something kind of mundane, where some of the other novels, I felt like we were still talking about something very, very, very mundane for way too long. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, overall, really liked the book. Good book. Good way to end out the year. Again, thank you all for being on this journey. I will be releasing a more or less a kind of year-end review, kind of my top books of the year, etc. And it will be released on the 31st. So before we hit 2025. So looking forward to that. Hope you all are looking forward to that. Hope everyone has been having a wonderful holiday season in whatever way that you celebrate, whether that be Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Yule, whatever works for you, 12 days. You know, just hopefully everyone is having a wonderful time this year. This time of year can be very hard for a lot of people, I know. And so I hope that there was some light in everyone's world. And also remember that we just had a solstice, which means that we are going to get more light for the next 6 months. It just might not feel like it, especially if you're in a daylight savings time area. But hopefully there is some light, whether that be because you spent time with family or even if you spent time by yourself, just kind of reflecting and moving forward. And as always, you know, I don't think I say this enough, but if you need help, don't be afraid to reach out to whomever that is. You know, whether that be a therapist or whether it be a friend. We all want to get through this dark period, and as we've had a solstice and things are changing, seasons are going to be rough for the next couple months, with snow and ice and everything, but there is always somebody that is willing to support you and willing to help you. So hopefully, as I said, everyone is having a wonderful holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you in the book review, but also seeing you in 2025 with new books. So have a wonderful new year, wonderful rest of the holiday season, and may we prosper in 2025. Bye!